Hello, we're showing you guys how to dissect a sheep brain and identify the important structures and functions. It helps us to understand where these structures are in the human brain.
First, you're going to need a sheep brain. This is vital for this dissection. Along with the brain, you will need goggles, a lab coat, and gloves. The brain is preserved from harmful chemicals, so it is important to stay safe.
First, identify the external parts. The frontal lobe is at the ventral part of the brain, controlling decision-making and planning. This is mostly what determines our personalities. The brain stem is at the dorsal part of the brain, and it connects to the spinal cord of the brain. It contains the medulla oblongata, which administers vital connections, and the pons, which is the relay between the cerebrum and the cerebellum and controls essential functions such as the heartbeat.
The medial-longitudinal fissure, the cerebellum, which controls muscle coordination and balance. The gyrri are the little bumps on the exterior of the brain, and the sulci are the inner grooves of the brain.
The parietal lobe, which controls pain, touch, temperature, and pressure. The temporal lobe, which processes hearing and memory, and the occipital lobe, which processes visual information.
Next, you will locate the cerebellum in the dorsal part of the brain, which controls your muscle coordination and balance. This is why people need physical therapy after a traumatic brain injury, because this is the part of the brain that is often affected.
Also at the dorsal part of the brain is the spinal cord, which connects the brain to the spine, making vital connections. The medulla oblongata, which is responsible for natural actions like breathing and heart beating, and pons are similar in function.
Finally, we will make a sagittal cut. On the interior ventral part of the brain is the olfactory bulb, which transmits information from the nose to the brain, which can be found in both the left and right hemisphere.
The optic chiasma is in the inferior part of the brain, and it is where the two optic nerves cross over.
The left hemisphere controls logic and language, and the right hemisphere controls creativity.
The lateral ventricle provides extra cushioning to the brain and also circulates nutrition and removes any waste.
To start off, the thalamus is located in the medulla of the brain, which is involved in sensory and monitor signal and the regulation of conscious and sleep. Inferior to the thalamus is the hypothalamus, which regulates temperature, sleep, and hunger. The pineal body produces reproductive hormones and monitors sleep.
The arbor vitae is located inferior to the cerebellum, which is responsible for receiving sensory and motor information.
The midbrain is the center of the brain, which consists of the middle parts of the brain, such as the pons and the medulla oblongata.
The white and gray matter are located inferior to the cerebellum. The gray matter is made up of cell bodies which surround the white matter. The white matter is made up of axon extensions.
Congratulations! After you have located all of these parts of the brain, it is time to clean up. Make sure to follow the teacher's instructions along with safety procedures to dispose of your sheep brain as instructed by the teacher. Wash any tools that you may have used as well as the tray and place them in their places.
Yay!